Let me ask you something. When you checked your blood pressure this morning, and I know many of you did, because if you are over 60 and managing hypertension, that reading is part of your daily routine. Did the number surprise you? Did it frustrate you? Did you look at that reading and think, I'm taking my medication. I'm doing what my doctor told me. Why isn't this number coming down? I want you to stay with me. Because what I am about to tell you is not something most health educators will say directly, and it is definitely not something the food industry wants you to hear. Some of the very foods you have been told your entire life are healthy, the ones marketed with words like heart smart and natural and part of a balanced breakfast, are quietly raising your blood pressure every single morning. And after 60, your body does not process these foods the same way it did at 40. The margin for error gets thinner. The consequences get more serious. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Aliu. Today we are going to break down 5 breakfast foods that seniors should never eat after 60. Foods that are secretly working against your blood pressure medication, stressing your kidneys, and quietly undoing the progress you are trying to make. And for each one, I am going to give you a simple, satisfying swap that protects your health without making you feel deprived. Now here is where it gets important. Let me tell you about Agnes. Agnes is 68 years old. She lives in a small house in North Carolina, tends a garden when her knees allow it, and has been taking lisinopril every morning for the last 7 years. She is disciplined. She does not miss doses. She checks her blood pressure at the same time every day, right after her morning routine, before her second cup of coffee. And for the last 2 years, that reading has been stuck. 155/90, sometimes higher. Her doctor added a second medication. The numbers budged slightly, then settled right back where they were. Her doctor mentioned a third medication at her next visit, so I asked her a question her doctor had never asked. Agnes, what do you eat in the first hour after you wake up? Orange juice, the kind with extra calcium. Instant oatmeal, maple and brown sugar, because the box said heart healthy. Whole wheat toast with margarine, not butter, because her doctor had told her years ago to avoid saturated fat. Every single item on Agnes's breakfast plate was silently undermining her blood pressure medication, and she had no idea. Let's break this down. The first food, and this one shocks almost everyone I tell, is fruit juice. That glass of orange juice, apple juice, or grapefruit juice that millions of seniors pour every morning thinking they are doing something healthy. Let me show you why this matters. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber slows the sugar entering your bloodstream. Your insulin responds gradually. Your blood vessels experience no sudden stress. When you drink orange juice, even the kind with no sugar added, even the kind with natural on the label, you consume the sugar of 4 to 5 oranges in about 60 seconds with none of the protective fiber. That rapid sugar surge triggers an insulin spike. Insulin signals your kidneys to retain sodium. Your body holds water to balance. Your blood volume increases. Your blood pressure rises. But there is a second mechanism that is even less discussed. High insulin activates your fight-or-flight response. Your heart rate increases. Your blood vessels constrict. You are literally drinking something that pushes against your lisinopril or amlodipine. This is the exact opposite of what your medication is trying to accomplish. Now, for those of you managing both blood pressure and kidney concerns, pause here. If you have CKD stage 3 or 4, fruit juice presents an additional danger. Potassium. A single cup of orange juice contains approximately 500 milligrams of potassium. For a kidney patient already struggling with potassium regulation, that morning juice could push you toward hyperkalemia. Dangerous heart rhythm disturbances. Do you see the pattern here? Agnes was drinking juice for bone health, the added calcium, while the sugar was raising her blood pressure and the potassium was a hidden threat neither she nor her doctor had discussed. Your swap: whole berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. A half cup gives you antioxidants called anthocyanins that actively support blood vessel flexibility, with a fraction of the sugar impact and all the fiber intact. For a drink, water with fresh lemon. Zero sugar, zero potassium burden, clean hydration. Number 2. Processed breakfast meat. Bacon, sausage links, breakfast ham, turkey bacon, yes, even the ones labeled low sodium or uncured. A single serving, about 3 slices, contains 400 to 600 milligrams of sodium. That is roughly a third of the American Heart Association's entire daily recommendation for someone with hypertension in just one component of one meal. But the sodium is not the most dangerous part. Processed meats contain phosphate preservatives, sodium phosphate, sodium hexametaphosphate, monocalcium phosphate. Your body absorbs these inorganic phosphates at nearly 100% efficiency, compared to 40 to 60% for naturally occurring phosphorus in whole foods. Your body cannot screen them out. Why does this matter for blood pressure? Elevated serum phosphorus directly damages the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, the delicate inner surface that regulates expansion and contraction. When that lining is damaged, your arteries stiffen. They lose their ability to relax. Your systolic pressure, that top number, rises. And this effect is amplified after 60 because age-related vascular stiffness is already in play. And here is something you may not have considered. Many seniors trying to do the right thing switch from pork bacon to turkey bacon. In most cases, turkey bacon contains just as much added sodium and just as many phosphate preservatives. The word turkey does not mean healthy. Read the ingredient list, not the marketing. Your swap? A 2-egg white omelet with fresh herbs and olive oil. About 55 milligrams of sodium naturally, only 5 milligrams of phosphorus, compared to the hundreds of milligrams of both in processed meat. Or 2 ounces of smoked salmon, omega-3 fatty acids that actively support blood vessel health. Before I get to number 3, and this one genuinely surprised me when I first studied the data, I want to pause. If you are finding this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. What is the one breakfast food you have been eating for years that you are now questioning? Tell me your age and what part of the country you are from. I read every comment. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. We are building a community of informed seniors and caregivers who refuse to be passive about their health. Number 3, instant flavored oatmeal. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Dr. Aliu, oatmeal is supposed to be good for cholesterol. My doctor recommended it. And plain steel-cut or rolled oats absolutely are good for your heart. The soluble fiber, beta-glucan, binds to cholesterol and removes it from your body. Well-established science. But the instant-flavored packets are an entirely different food. Look at this comparison. The instant packet adds 270 milligrams of sodium and 12 grams of added sugar, 2 to 3 teaspoons, to a food that had none of either. And the phosphate preservatives are buried in the ingredient list under names most people skim past. That morning, sugar hit triggers the same insulin sodium retention cascade we discussed. Now add the hidden sodium directly in the packet. Your blood pressure is being hit from 2 directions at once, and this food is literally marketed as heart healthy. There is one more layer specific to seniors. After 60, your kidney's ability to excrete a sudden sodium load diminishes. It is called impaired natriuresis. The 270 milligrams in that oatmeal packet hits your kidneys harder at 68 than it did at 48. Your blood pressure responds more dramatically, and the effect lasts longer. For Agnes, remember her morning blood pressure was stuck at 155/90? This was her breakfast every day. When she switched to plain rolled oats with fresh blueberries and cinnamon, she eliminated 270 milligrams of sodium and 12 grams of sugar from her morning. Every single day. Over a month, 8,100 milligrams of sodium she was no longer consuming. Your swap? Plain rolled oats, 3 to 4 tablespoons, cooked with water. Add fresh berries, a small handful of walnuts for healthy fats, and cinnamon, which has its own blood pressure lowering properties backed by research. If you need sweetness, a teaspoon of real maple syrup gives you about 4 grams of sugar instead of 12. Number 4. And I want you to pay close attention because the marketing here is exceptionally deceptive. This is what the food industry calls a health halo. And if you are over 60, falling for it is not your fault. It is by design. The front of the box says, can help lower cholesterol. Flip it over, and 1 cup contains more sodium than a serving of potato chips, plus phosphate additives that do not appear on the nutrition facts panel at all. Here is the mechanism that actually matters. These cereals combine refined carbohydrates with sodium and sugar in a way that produces a compounded metabolic effect. The refined carbs spike your blood glucose. The insulin response triggers sodium retention, and the added sodium amplifies the blood pressure effect. It is not simply additive, it is multiplicative. Now consider the timing. You are consuming this cereal first thing in the morning, when your cortisol levels are naturally at their daily peak. Cortisol already raises blood pressure as part of your circadian rhythm. Adding a high-sodium, high-sugar meal on top of your morning cortisol surge means your blood pressure at 8 a.m., already the highest risk window for cardiovascular events, is being artificially pushed even higher by what you ate. This is not optional. This is not a suggestion. If your blood pressure is already elevated and you are eating commercial breakfast cereal every morning, you are actively working against your medication. Your swap. If you want something cold, plain shredded wheat. Ingredient list. 1 item. Whole grain wheat, 0 sodium, 0 sugar. Top with sliced banana or berries that you add yourself. If you want something warm, the plain rolled oats we discussed. Number 5. And this one requires some history to understand. If you are over 60, you lived through the era when margarine was aggressively marketed as the heart-healthy alternative to butter. The message was absolute. Saturated fat causes heart disease, butter is bad, margarine is good. Millions of seniors are still spreading margarine on their morning toast, believing they are protecting their heart. They are doing the opposite. Here is what science now tells us. The partially hydrogenated oils in traditional margarines create trans fats. Trans fats damage the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, reducing your arteries' ability to produce nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes and widens your vessels. Less nitric oxide means stiffer vessels. Stiffer vessels mean higher blood pressure. The FDA banned partially hydrogenated oils in 2018, so most major brands reformulated. But many reformulated spreads are still made from highly refined vegetable oils, soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, extracted with high heat and chemical solvents. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids. The modern diet already has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of 15 to 1 or even 20 to 1. That extreme imbalance promotes chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is now understood to be a primary driver of hypertension, not just a consequence. For Agnes, that margarine on her morning toast was delivering a daily dose of inflammatory compounds at exactly the time of day when her cardiovascular system was most vulnerable. When she swapped it for avocado or a drizzle of olive oil, she addressed one more invisible source of vascular stress. Your swap. A quarter avocado mashed with black pepper on your toast. Potassium, fiber, monounsaturated fats that actively support blood pressure regulation. For cooking, extra virgin olive oil. Polyphenols that protect your blood vessel lining. Let me show you what Agnes's body was absorbing every morning before 8 a.m. The 5 foods, in the order they hit her bloodstream. In a 7-minute window, Agnes's body absorbed 4 separate vasoconstrictive events, 4 separate assaults on her blood vessel function, all while her morning cortisol was already at its daily maximum. Her lisinopril was trying to relax her vessels. Her breakfast was telling them to constrict. The medication never stood a chance. Now let me show you what happened when she changed. Within 6 weeks, her morning blood pressure dropped from 155/90 to 138/82. Her doctor reduced one of her medications. She told me, and I will never forget this, I finally feel like I'm in control again. 17 points systolic. From breakfast alone. Think about that for a moment. That number should stop you cold. Your body is sending you signals. The question is, are you listening? This is not about fear. This is about having the information you need to make the right decisions. You do not need to overhaul everything tomorrow. Pick one food from this list, the one that feels most relevant to your own breakfast, and swap it for the alternative. Give it 2 weeks. Pay attention to how you feel. Check your blood pressure. Bring the results to your next doctor's appointment. If you are over 60 and taking blood pressure medication, you need to have a conversation with your doctor about your diet. Today, not next week. Not because I am telling you to change your medication. I am a health educator, not a physician. But because your doctor needs to know what you are eating so they can interpret your numbers correctly. If this video helped you, please subscribe. We release videos every week built specifically for seniors and caregivers navigating health with clarity and confidence. Hit the like button. It helps YouTube share this information with other seniors who need it. I would love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Which of these 5 breakfast foods surprised you the most? What is the one swap you are going to try first? Tell me your age and where you are from. Send this to someone you love. It could change the conversation they have at their next doctor's visit. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Aliu. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your health. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with your physician or qualified health provider before making any changes to your diet, medication, or health routine.